Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new action thriller, Vanquish. And this is from writer-director George Gallo, starring Ruby Rose and Morgan Freeman. And Ruby Rose plays a woman with a past who has her daughter who is captured by this man who employs Ruby Rose, played by Morgan Freeman, who then uses her to go on a bunch of missions over the course of a night so that he gets what he wants and she gets her daughter back. And this film feels really cheesy and cheap in terms of how it's shot. You can definitely tell this isn't like a high quality film and shot with like a big budget. You could definitely see that this just looks like somebody had a camera and like pointing at these moments, because it basically has like TV level visuals. So like this looks like it could be a middle of the road kind of action TV show, and it isn't very cinematic. And you have this really poor editing throughout this film, and the transitions between shots that are really awkward and cheap looking. And it looks like somebody made this on like movie and just had like, oh, I learned all these different kinds of transitions, let's throw them in there. And they just make for awkward transitions between the scenes and between shots, and it messes up interactions between characters and just really makes it awkward. And the film has a very drab look to it. There isn't really a whole lot of personality from a visual standpoint that goes into this film. And the performances, though, Morgan Freeman seems really bored. Like, really bored. He's just kind of saying his lines, and there's might be a couple of moments where you could see Morgan Freeman show up. But then Ruby Rose just feels very wooden and awkward, and she tries to play tough and charismatic at times. And I've seen her in other things where she's definitely Ruby Rose is more charismatic than this, and it just comes off flat and awkward. There's a lot of awkwardness about this film in general, and the performances don't really click. And the thing is, this feels very much like Collateral, where it's like, you have to do this thing and we go on to the next thing. Collateral, Michael Mann's film, does things in such an interesting way and shakes things up. This just feels like rinse, dry, repeat, rinse, dry, repeat, rinse, dry, repeat. For an hour and 35-minute movie, you don't want that. It just feels so repetitive and honestly just unengaging after a while. It's basically Rose's character goes off and does a mission, comes back, is like, I want my daughter. And Morgan Freeman's like, this many left, just this many. And you're just like, why did I care? I never really felt connected. I feel bad, but like the young girl who plays the daughter, really awkward performance. And basically all the main performances here just either feel flat or awkward. And it's hard to connect. And it just feels like there's a bunch of cliches of action thrillers, and you don't have a whole lot of intrigue in these characters. And boy, by the time you get to this finale and it comes to this big finale point, horrible CGI, like horrible. Fire looks cheap and so looks like it's from a PS1 game or something if you had flames in it. It looks that bad, and it's not good. And just throughout the film in general, the action, there's so many quick edits. It just feels shaky and lacks the flow of what a quality action scene should be. And the biggest thing in the end, this movie was just boring. And I really didn't enjoy it that much. And if you're a big fan of action thrillers and you like Ruby Rose and you could just enjoy just hearing Morgan Freeman's voice, there's a couple of things there that could grab your attention. For me, though, Vanquish just felt very flat and very forgettable and really didn't hit anything here at all. So I'm sitting here, would not recommend Vanquish. Unless you really are a huge fan of Morgan Freeman and Ruby Rose. Then go watch it. It's an hour and 35 minutes. But those are my thoughts on Vanquish. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.